Educators experience a wide range of responsibilities and challenges throughout their careers, and these experiences gradually shape their identity and teaching practices. And in this report, we will compare two educators from different professional contexts: Madam Ong Mui Yi, a TESOL teacher, and Dr. Relly Tasap, a mathematics primary school teacher. The analysis examines how their pedagogy and experiences align with the attributes of the Insan Guru professional model, focusing on both similarities and differences in how they reflect the model's expectations.
During our interview session, we have called upon two highly experienced educators to gain insights into the IGP model. On 22nd of November 2025, we spoke with Dr. Relly Tasap, a primary school mathematics teacher with 20 years of teaching experience. Dr. Relly has a lot of academic achievements as shown on the screen. He started out as a substitute teacher. Later on, he has taught in both rural and urban schools and chooses to remain in the classroom to directly impact students' academic and moral development. Meanwhile, on the 28th of November 2025, we interviewed Madam Ong Mui Yi, a secondary school TESOL teacher with over 30 years of experience. Her journey began after being initially rejected from nursing school, leading her to teacher training at IPT. She further developed her expertise through professional training abroad, including New York. Madam Ong views teaching as a reflective practice, focusing on student-centered learning, collaboration, and lifelong professional development.
There are three objectives in this project. The first one is to examine the personality attributes of two teachers, one from the same field as the apprentice teacher, Insan Guru Perantis, and another from a different field, based on interview findings. The second objective is to analyze how these identified attributes align with the IGP model according to their respective fields. Last but not least is to evaluate both teachers through the lens of the UPSI Insan Guru professional model, focusing on the professional, personal, and contextual dimensions.
Now, these are our findings on the personality attributes of the two teachers. There are several similarities that we have found. Both teachers strongly value empathy, believing that it is important to understand students' backgrounds. They also show patience, especially when dealing with different learning speeds. Both emphasize fairness, treating all students equally, and demonstrate a high professionalism and ethics in their behavior. Finally, they share a commitment to lifelong learning, continuously improving their skills as educators. Next, for the differences, Madam Ong places more focus on teamwork with colleagues, while Dr. Relly highlights community service and contributing to society. In teaching style, Madam Ong is more creative, using innovative materials, where Dr. Relly is more adaptable, especially when teaching in different environments. Their interpersonal approaches also differ. Madam Ong prioritizes soft skills, while Dr. Relly emphasizes moral values and cultural sensitivity. Lastly, their motivation for teaching differs, with Madam Ong's passion developing over time, while Dr. Relly views teaching as a deep calling. In summary, both teachers embody core values of professional educators, but their strengths reflect different experiences and teaching contexts.
In this section, I will be focusing on how the teaching styles and behaviors of both teachers reflect the IGP model according to their subject fields. As for TESOL, Madam Ong represents facilitator and delegator style, as she believes that learning English should involve interaction, communication, and emotional connection. She sees her role as helping students express themselves confidently and develop empathy through language use, not just teaching grammar or vocabulary. Her classes are student-centered, using activities like group discussion, storytelling, songs, and role plays to make lessons creative and engaging. This approach builds confidence, teamwork, and mutual respect, which aligns with the IGP value of guru collaborative dan penyayang. Madam Ong also handles discipline with empathy. She tries to understand students' backgrounds before taking action. This shows the personal dimension of the IGP model, where compassion and fairness shape classroom management. Because TESOL focuses on communication and flexibility, Madam Ong acts as a guide and motivator, connecting language lessons with moral values such as respect and understanding. On the other hand, Dr. Riley's mathematics teaching focuses on structure, clarity, and practical understanding, matching the demonstrator and authoritative dimensions of IGP model. He believes that students learn best through step-by-step guidance and real examples, such as using rubber seats to teach addition. This makes mathematical ideas more concrete and relevant to students' daily lives. Even though his lessons are structured, he balances them with patience and fairness, treating all students equally and rejecting bias or favoritism. He maintains professional distance by being firm but caring, which reflects emotional intelligence and ethical professionalism. His style shows the IGP vision of a teacher who leads by both example and moral character. When compared, both teachers demonstrate that the Insan Guru professional model is flexible across subjects. TESOL teaching encourages communication, creativity, and emotional learning. Meanwhile, mathematics teaching values structure, logic, and discipline. Despite these differences, both Madam Ong and Dr. Riley share the same goal, which is helping students grow in knowledge, values, and character. Their approaches show that true professionalism under the IGP framework means balancing intellect, ethics, and empathy, no matter what subject a teacher teaches.
For this section, I analyzed the two educators using UPSI's Insan Guru professional model. The model contains three main dimensions, which are the professional, personal, and contextual dimensions. The first dimension will be professionalism. A key similarity between both educators is adaptability in professional dimension. Both Madam Ong and Dr. Riley emphasize continuous professional growth. Madam Ong highlights that a degree alone is no longer enough. Teachers must constantly update themselves with the newest syllabus and technology to remain relevant. Similarly, Dr. Riley stresses the importance of adapting to trends like artificial intelligence to avoid being left behind and to improve the learning experience. However, their differences show two sides of professionalism. Madam Ong emphasizes collaboration. She values teamwork, especially when preparing exams or handling co-curricular activities. This reflects the IGP attribute of being collaborative and professional in managing responsibilities. On the other hand, Dr. Riley emphasizes an analytical and structured approach. He believes theories are meaningless without proper planning, and teachers must come prepared with teaching aids to ensure effective classroom practice. Although their approaches differ from one another, they complement each other and illustrate two valid strengths within the professional dimension. Next, personal dimension. Both educators have two similar attributes, which are fairness and tolerance. Both believe that teachers must be fair and avoid favoritism. Madam Ong emphasizes transparency when handling student discipline, while Dr. Riley stresses avoiding bias and racism in diverse classrooms. For tolerance, Madam Ong focuses on patience in personal growth and receiving criticism, whereas Dr. Riley focuses on patience in teaching students with different learning needs. And their difference lies in the type of commitment that they display. Madam Ong's commitment is shown through her personal development, from being rejected initially to attending trainings, becoming a substitute teacher, and eventually studying abroad. Meanwhile, Dr. Riley's commitment is demonstrated through ethical dedication. He rejected a higher administrative post because he loves classroom teaching and prioritizes students' learning over career advancement. So both educators represent the commitment attribute from the IGP model. Last but not least is contextual. Both educators shows contextual awareness but in different ways. Madam Ong focuses on socio-cultural context. She advises teachers to understand students' backgrounds before disciplining them because misbehavior may come from other factors. Meanwhile, Dr. Raleigh focuses on the physical environment. He compares schools with advanced technology to those with limited resources. His awareness pushes him to improvise and by using local materials like rubber seats to teach mathematical concepts when technology is unavailable. So overall, both educators reflect the IGP model through different strengths, showing how professionalism, personal values, and contextual awareness shape effective and meaningful teaching practices.
Throughout the course of this program, and especially after the conducted interview with the two experienced teachers, I have learned that patience and empathy is extremely vital to the personality of a future teacher, as students will carry on interactions that we have with them forever. Because of that, I will work on my own personality to ensure that my students will always get the best version of me and that they will feel comfortable around me and have a good schooling experience.
Throughout the progress of this project, I have learned many beneficial aspects from both educators, and one that stood out the most is about personal growth. I believe that we, as teachers, often face many challenges as we go through different stages in life by facing students' diversity, external and internal challenges as well. But I realized that these are not the obstacles but more to professional development. Hence, this shaped us to become a good teacher.
Before this IGP analysis, I used to think that teaching was just regarding giving knowledge and finishing the syllabus. But after analysing Dr. Raleigh and Madam Ong, it appears to be that teaching requires a balance in all aspects. Seeing Dr. Raleigh's diligence in using rubber seats and Madam Ong's empathy in understanding her students' backgrounds proved that love and connection are just as important as the content. I've learned that to be a true educator, I must teach with my heart as much as my head.